Hello. Yes, excuse me. Olly Connelly, Daily Chaos. Having a wander about. Having a crafty cigarette, actually. Wandering around trying not to be too close to anybody because I'm not wearing my mask. I've got it here like a Jewish star in Nazi Germany. Anyway, look, lobby for democracy. Yeah, lobby for democracy. I think it's time that little project came into its own. In other words, that we all go down to the central lobby in Westminster Hall, the House of Commons, as is our democratic right. Or is it now? Given these, autocratic laws being wrought on us from number 10, only 12 MPs, as I understand it, only 12 Conservative MPs voted against Boris's continued, well, quite frankly, what to me, given the statistics, it is not a pandemic. Lives are being destroyed left, right and centre. The guy's like a bull in a china shop on the British economy, on our society, on our livelihoods, on the economy, on our way of life, on our sociability, on our children's welfare. Incredible. You know what? It is time for people to wake up and realise there is something that just doesn't quite smell right here. There are doctors coming out of the closet. There's 600 doctors in Spain or something. There's a whole bunch of lawyers in Germany that are contesting these lockdowns. All of that stuff, you put it on Facebook and, you can't share that. No. Facebook MD deems that their ex-CNN fact-checkers know better than these epidemiologists and medical practitioners on the front line and what have you, that they know better. Oh, no, we know better. Well, look, you know what? Enough, people. Enough. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Oh, I know, he seemed like such a lovely chummy bloke, didn't he, that Bojo? Oh, lovely. Lovely, he'll be fun. He'll deliver Brexit. Getting Brexit done in February constituted, apparently, his version of Brexit was putting an Irish Sea border in place. Oh, he's, reckons he wants to change that now. And break international law, allegedly, according to some people. I don't see how, but look, the whole thing is a farce. This is the guy that did nothing about Huawei. He just kicked the can down the road, postponed it, the decision. Didn't stop it, postponed it. This is the guy that reckons that our enormous bankruptcy-inducing exposure to the European Central Bank is getting Brexit done. We're still in the CU, we're still in the SM, we're still within the jurisdiction of the ECJ. There's now chatter in Westminster that the latest wheeze from government is to keep us within the jurisdiction of the ECJ via the back door, if you like, that is the European Court on Human Rights, i.e. still subject to anti-democratic foreigners. You know what? I'm wearing this t-shirt. Look at this. Can you see that? I don't know if it's reversed or what. It's a thing about protecting sharks. Yeah, I quite like sharks. Real ones, not politicians. And it says, protect the locals. Protect the locals. Save the sharks. Protect the locals, I say. Yeah. Protect local culture. Wherever it is, yeah. Wherever it is. And that includes Great British culture. It includes stateside culture, which they are desperately trying to ransack, are they not? the George Soroses of this world, etc., etc., backed by people like Bojo through his lack of support, verbal support, for a democratically elected President of the United States, etc., etc., etc. Look, the fact is that it's pretty clear what's going on, yeah? He wants to see, he said, delay the last trade talks with the EU, said Bojo, until, give it another month and then we'll have another chat. In other words, we'll see what happens with that US election. We'll see if Trump is going to be removed by hook or by crook, and then guess what? We can say, oh no, Biden is putting us back to the back of the trade queue. Oh, maybe we better, Brextension, another Brextension. That's all the withdrawal agreement was. It was just another very expensive Brextension. How many years ago was that vote? How many years ago was that referendum? It was a long time ago, no? It was a long time ago. It's about time that people realised that Bojo was just May in drag. Yeah. When he was elected, I was hopeful for him as well. There are different sides to all of us. There's good and bad in all of us. And I think that he would be a great bloke to go and have a pint with, and he can recite a bit of, Latin verse or whatever, and he's all chummy and fun. The fact is, though, in terms of politics, the guy's a Bilderberger. They want to get Trump out. They want to decimate the US democracy. They want to stop Brexit. And they want to get back on with their long, publicly stated vision for a new world order, which apparently, as far as we can tell, is based on a China model of totalitarianism. And guess what? We have the proof. We're in lockdown for something. It is not a pandemic. They changed the definition of pandemic, by the way, about 12 years ago. That's how they can technically call this a pandemic, when 0.002% or whatever the figure is, and at the same time they admit, because if you look at the guidance notes to medical practitioners signing death certificates, etc., if in doubt, put COVID on the death certificate. I mean, all the stats are cack. I don't know that people realise quite the point in human history that we're at, despite all the glaring evidence. You see it on the streets, walking around. Everybody, I'm looking at people around me, they're all wearing their masks. It's just, look at that, these people here coming up behind me wearing their masks. Everybody's wearing their bloody masks. Scared because the media tells them to be scared. Yeah. I think I might have had this COVID thing, actually. I was quite unwell the last couple of weeks. I've got this lippy thing actually going on, this kind of VD of the lip type stuff that Michael Gove gets. Oh dear. Oh, blimey. Another fraud. Look, the fact is, people, we got to get real. We got to get real. It's all very well, we gave the guy a chance, and we're just being turned into a... I'm going to have to put my shades on, people. It's too sunny. Too sunny. I can't see what I'm doing. We've got to get real. It's no good just going to Trafalgar Square and get beaten up by riot cops because you're not black enough. You don't fit the political narrative of divide rule, funded by Soros again. We need to get into that central lobby, into the central hall. And God bless him, Viscount St David's. You may remember I did a show with him about Lobby for Democracy, I don't know, about 18 months ago, 2 years ago, something like that. And we were talking specifically about how we could enact that. We'd need supply lines. We need to flood that lobby day in, day out. And he knows people that can help us in terms of our protection against the characters in that lobby who would otherwise try to get us thrown out. A bit like Emily Thornberry did me, for example, when I asked her why this place is not upholding democracy, i.e. the result of the referendum. Well, that was back in the last parliament. With this new parliament and general election and all the rest of it, I think it's fair to say we voted to end that parliamentary tyranny. We kicked out the Dominic Greaves and the Anna Soubries. The only one left, actually, that was a hardcore anti-democratic nutter, is Yvette Cooper. All the rest pretty much gone. Nonetheless, only 12 voted against extending these tyrannical powers that see us, snitching on our neighbours, and the BBC is going around with cameras pointing at people not wearing masks, trying to shame them. What happened to all that about going to, pull the BBC in line because, can't have all of this anti-British stuff coming out of our national board. What happened to that, Boris? What happened to that? So yeah, people, I think that we need to get lobby for democracy back on track. I think it's time, and I think that we need to flood that lobby so that we can encourage more people. A couple of years ago, this was about Brexit then. Well, it was actually about democracy, really. That's what it was always about for me. Brexit was a device to give us our self-determination back, but it certainly doesn't all begin and end so far as the UK is concerned with Brexit, just as it doesn't all begin and end in the United States with the election of Donald Trump. These are things that are a start. Excuse me. As we then move on to do things like reform the Lords, etc., etc. So Boris puts in people like Ken Clarke here, avowedly anti-democratic, who tells us, no, your betters know better. You must do as you're told. That's what parliamentarians are for. And this whole idea of the plebs being able to decide their future is preposterous. Gets made a peer. The only anti-democrat that he didn't make a peer was Bercow. That clearly was a step too far. But, we are seeing with this government just more of the same that we've seen for decades, really. Ever since we were shoved into that EEC by the back door by a Tory government, by the way, that covered up the FCO 301048, which was the Foreign and Commonwealth Office warning the government that we would be ceding our sovereignty at about this time. And they covered it up. Heath covered that up. It turns out that from Fortescue, his whip, fellow whip to Ken Clarke, by the way, it turned out that, according to Tim Fortescue, they would have their government supported by depraved MPs who were paedophiles. So in other words, we'll cover up your misdemeanors with little boys. That's a quote, little boys, in exchange for your support. And that was the government that took us into the EEC and Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, all the rest of them later, and we're still trying to get out. Oh yeah, Maastricht, that was another one, wasn't it? Yeah, John Major used the expenses thing to... Almost, this is a theory, yeah, but it seems pretty clear to me. The way he called that snap election, for example, and then pushed Maastricht through, he used the expenses scandal of the time, again, to bribe MPs to vote away our sovereignty, i.e. to get us further into the EU club. But you know, it's all looked relatively chummy up to now. You know, the EU was a supposed trade partner, not very democratic, but you know, there were arguments for it, I suppose, if you really want to be pedantic, but not good ones in my opinion, not good ones. Nothing trumps sovereignty. But it's changed, hasn't it? It's changed. We now see that they're moving towards this great reset. The Great Reset, which was discussed at Davos a few years ago, and Trump famously stood up and said, don't like that, don't like globalization. I believe that a good leader should lead his or her people first and foremost. And if all leaders around the world did that, the world would be a far happier place. And we could have a more genuine global democracy as opposed to this New World Order thing. Now, so the World Economic Forum were selling this Great Reset at Davos, which was when Trump basically said nope. And then within a week, George Soros says, this cannot stand. This US administration is thoroughly dangerous. You know, it's all happened. If you've been paying attention, you can see what's been going on, how the cards have fallen. They couldn't get this Trump bloke in line, and so they put together this absolute rubbish about the Russians thing, with God knows how many reams of newsprint wasted on that. Talk about carbon footprint on absolute rubbish. And that's been proven to be absolute nonsense, to the point actually that the shoe now we find is on the other foot, care of unredacted email exchanges between various security service people and members of the Obama administration. And we now know, if you've been paying attention, and not just watching the BBC, which refuses to cover this, or CNN, which refuses to cover this, not a single word from practically any of these fake stream media characters, that the White House itself under Obama knew and was supporting a campaign which Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign funded, to discredit Donald Trump and to spy with the Russians nonsense, and to discredit him and try to get him thrown out. Mueller thing fell on its face. Then they tried to impeach him. It was clearly a political impeachment. Thankfully, the Senate saw that. Everybody apart from Mitt Romney, of course, but then he's a fake. And here we are. Look, the fact is, the fact is that we're walking into tyranny, people. We're walking into tyranny. You know, that's what is going on here. And good people in the Western world need to be standing together to protect our freedoms. And if you've got kids, well, hopefully to protect your kids and their futures, unless you want to betray them. Unbelievable where we are. Hold on. Oh, I'm going to do a bit of a jump here because I don't want to get my feet wet. So yeah, there you go, really. Just a bit of what's going on in case you missed it, in case you're still watching the BBC, as opposed to refusing to pay for that propaganda, in case you're still, I don't know, sucking up to Guy Verhofstadt's timeline on Twitter or some absolute nonsense. Unless you want, unless you want the China model, kind of suggest that we get a bit more active. When we were talking about this a couple of years ago, Lobby for Democracy, some of us, one of the well, I can't remember what I was going to say now. It doesn't really matter, does it? Look, the fact is, you see what's going on around you. You see the RAF, the Royal Air Force now on the streets, going door to door, handing out testing kits. Testing kits that apparently, according to a whole bunch of medical practitioners, are nonsense, and they're chalking people up with this COVID-19 thing when, they've just had a cold or something. And the CDC's own medical notes, again, which said, if in doubt, put COVID-19 on the death certificate. Oh, and by the way, if subsequently it comes up in an autopsy that it wasn't COVID-19, the mortality rate, the official stats will not change. That's all fact. I've seen the docs, I've read them. Having a bit of a rant here. Look, people, Lobby for Democracy. I don't know about you, but seems. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were saying, look, we would hope the Lobby for Democracy, by folks going in and cramming that central hall day in, day out, every parliamentary session, asking for their MPs, as is their democratic right. Going in, more and more people going in, that we would hopefully incite a general strike, and that would be the only way and an expensive way personally for all of us, but the only way for the long-term security that democracy gives us, and that hopefully, I say democracy, I know it's dodgy democracy, but it's better than tyranny, and hopefully, if we had the right people in place, people that were held accountable by their electorates, that we could improve on democracy by, for example, reforming the Lords, etc. Depoliticising the judiciary. Depoliticising the police. But the concern was that, people, to incite a general strike, well, people, they don't want to be on strike because they don't want to lose their jobs, they can't afford not to be at work. Well, you're not at work now, are you? You're probably on the verge of losing your job if you haven't lost it already. Millions of you. So that excuse for sitting on our apathetic hands no longer applies. We do need support lines for those people in London that are looking to fight for what is right. We do need support lines in various ways. People from around the country might need putting up, for example, or some food or whatever. Telephony, things like that. But, well, you tell me where we are. You tell me where we're going. You go to the World Economic Forum website and look at their page, great dash reset, and you tell me what it says. It's all out there, people. It's all out there. It just ain't on the BBC. Not the 9 o'clock news. So, come on. wake up, for crying out loud, wake up. You know, I understand why people pin their hopes on Boris. I did too. I mean, reluctantly, because I don't trust any politician. Such is my experience. However, I did hope for the best, and I wished him well when he was elected, and I said, "Be Chilean, sir," and all that. Has he been? Bollocks, has he? The guy's a fraud, yeah. It's time to wake up. All of you, you know, dyed in the wool, lifelong tourists who wanted the best, hoped for the best. It's time to wake up and realise that Lib Lab Con is one big con. It's time to occupy democracy. Yeah? It's time to occupy the media. It's time to picket the BBC. Day in, day out. That's something that we should be doing in unison with Lobby for Democracy in the Central Hall. It should be a sort of a sack the media, occupy the media, defund the BBC protest, day in, day out, picketing their HQ in London or Manchester or wherever it is at the moment, both of them, whatever. We've got some great people on our side, lots of good people, people that understand logistics, for example, you know, veterans, that sort of stuff. We've got some great people behind us, and I think any genuine patriot, whether they've disagreed with, you know, other people or whatever, the fact is that we're at a stage now. We unite, or we, you know, we see our way of life just crushed asunder. Yeah. What was it Orwell said? Imagine a boot on your face, stamping or something. Yeah, that was basically what 1984 was about. That's kind of where we're going, you know. It's kind of where we're going. Right, that's it. I'm going to finish my cigarette. I don't know, maybe I've washed my hair or something. I'm having a bit of a bad hair day. In fact, I look like I've got the devil's horns going on, I assure you. That is not my way. Right, okay, see you later. Olly Connelly, Daily Chaos. Have a think, maybe share the thing, whatever. God bless you. Here's to us. And bugger plutocracy.